Hello everybody, we are here live at FanX. We're here with Zach. Zach, why don't you go ahead and to start us off, just tell us a little bit about yourself and what it is that you do.
My name is Zach Pickard. I go by QE Props online. I only have an Instagram page currently, but I'm an engineer by trade. I do prop making and cosplay making as a side hobby kind of business. I don't know how else to describe it. I take occasional commissions on there just so that way I can afford to build some of my own things.
Sure. Well, what are some of the most recent things that you've designed? I know we've got a lovely R2D2 over here. We'll show some footage of that.
Yeah. Yeah. Other than that, for my own stuff, I've got a Destiny Titan cosplay. That's an Iron Banner Year 1 Destiny cosplay. I also have a Sparrow, the Timebreaker from Destiny 1 that I've done as near to full size as I can do it. It's 10 feet long, weighs about 120 pounds.
That's pretty close.
It's usually here at FanX, but this year they didn't ask for it, so I didn't.
No kidding.
Didn't just bring it down for the hell of it.
What a shame. What an absolute shame.
Other than that, I do a lot of commission work, so most of the stuff that I do ends up going actually around the world. I have a lot of stuff that's gone all over. Recently, I did a full-size Reinhardt axe for the Bloodheart skin, so that's actually walking around here somewhere at the convention too. So
we'll have to see if we can find it.
I've been looking for it all weekend. I haven't managed to find it. You'd think a 7-foot-tall axe would be easy enough to spot, but I haven't seen it.
Yeah, no kidding.
So you said a lot of your stuff goes around the world. Is there any particular country that you usually find it going to?
It comes and goes depending on what it is that I'm building. Australia was really popular for a while when I started. I got into some Firefly props, like Malcolm Reynolds' pistol from the TV show Firefly.
Interesting.
I sent probably half a dozen of those things over there to Australia over the course of 2 years, and I have no idea why it was so popular or why it was just that for a short period of time.
Interesting. Yeah, I would not have expected Australia to be one of the biggest ones.
Warhammer 40K, the tabletop game, is really popular over in Europe, and I've done actually quite a few bolt pistols, bolters, and like chain swords and things like that have gone over to Europe. So that's like the other big thing.
So I know you said you only have like an Instagram right now, but would you say in Australia when you sent it over, would you say that it was probably from word of mouth that you think it was probably spread, or do you think it was just...
I really don't know, because I'd reach out to people and I'd ask them, how'd you hear about me and stuff like that, and they'd say, oh, I saw your Instagram, or at the time I had a Facebook page and stuff like that, and it was just people saying that, oh, I saw you here. A few people actually did say that they saw some stuff that I had built on Reddit, and so whoever was posting on Reddit, thank you, because I don't post on Reddit. So something was working for me.
Okay, that's really cool.
Well, I think it's safe to assume that designing props and stuff at this quality is not something that a lot of people can and do. What would you say it was that got you started in this?
What triggered me to decide to do this? I actually saw Volpin Props. A couple years ago, he did a Fallout, or not a Fallout, it was a Half-Life gravity gun. And an AER-9 laser rifle, and I saw some of his work in progress on that and some of the posts that were made after the fact, and I really loved what he was doing and the materials that he was using at the time. I thought, I've got all the same tools and everything like that. I could start doing that. That'd be fun. So it was basically just to keep me from playing video games constantly.
I hear you there. Have you found that there's a certain series or franchise that you enjoy working with the most?
I've been loving Overwatch. I actually have a pair of Mercy Wings that are walking around here, and the Reinhardt axe. I really want to build May's endothermic blaster. I like the design that Blizzard puts into each of their characters and just all the weapons that everyone has in the game. So I really like that aesthetic. Other than that, I do a little bit of everything. I have stuff at home from Lord of the Rings, Firefly. I've got some Star Wars things sitting around the house too. So I'm all over the board when it comes to what my particular fandom is. I just kind of find things that I really like the look of, or that I think would be interesting to build, and hopefully other people would like to see how it's built, and then I just take all the progress pictures. And
out of curiosity, are these Mercy wings that you referenced, does Ray by chance have these wings?
Ray's wearing the wings today. She said that she was going to try to get the rest of the cosplay put together, so hopefully she'll see.
Well, Ray is around here, so Ray works with us, so we'll be sure to get some footage of that as well.
Yeah. They're pretty impressive. Just even by the time that I finished putting them together, they turned out much better than I had hoped that they would.
I thought they were incredible. In fact, that's how we got this interview set up in the first place. Is I saw the wings, I was like, those are incredible. Who made those wings? And she mentioned your name, and so we thought, we got to get this guy in here. We got to interview this guy. So without, I know obviously you don't want to give all your tricks away, but are there certain things, maybe something you would tell somebody that wants to try their hand at this kind of a thing?
I'm personally curious. I'm trying to get into it, but I'm also very intimidated because I certainly don't want to spend a lot of money on products and just totally mess up on it.
It's definitely something that you want to take your time on, and if you have space, depending on what materials you really want to work with, whether it's EVA foam or MDF or styrene, Sintra, things like that. If you have room, the two tools that I would recommend, the power tools, would be a scroll saw and a belt sander. Those two things I use the most in my shop. I have a whole slew of other things, but those are by far the two biggest tools that I use, aside from just utility knives, hobby knives.
I would imagine a belt sander would be a lot easier than sanding it down yourself.
Other than that, I mean, it's really just find something that you love, that you want to make, that's going to really draw you in. Because if you're not really interested in it, and I've had this problem on a few commissions where I'm like, I have no idea what this comes from. I'm not interested in it at all, and then I find that I have a hard time trying to work myself up to finish it, just because it's not something that I really like. But if you find something that you love and that you think you can finish up, whether it's for cosplay or you just want to make it a display piece that you just put on the wall and have everyone come over and you look at it and go, ooh, look at that.
Yeah, I made that.
I mean, just take your time. Look up online, because between the Replica Prop Forum and Facebook groups and stuff like that, there's probably somebody else that's tried to build something at least really similar. And if you can find the way that somebody else did it and think maybe I can do that, or if you can find a better way to think of a better way to do it, go that route. Just take your time working on it. Don't rush yourself, because I mean, I see a lot of cosplayers. I used to judge the cosplay contests here also, and you see a lot of cosplayers that get really excited about something, and then they find out that they're either not interested in it anymore, or they just didn't plan for enough time, and they rush through things and they don't get it finished quite the way that it really could be finished if they just took their time and worked through it slowly. Other than that, I mean, it's really pretty straightforward. There's lots of people that have done it. You can find things all over the internet.
It's just a matter of patience and and learning the skill.
Yeah.
So just out of curiosity, I keep saying that, but I'm genuinely curious about
He's very curious about this.
So it sounds like for you, you have to I guess with Overwatch, for example, you wouldn't be able to see that and be like, man, I want to make that. You have to play the game. Yeah, is that, or for, I guess more like for anime or movies or anything?
Yeah.
Would you see the movie and be like, I want to make that, or do you make it and then be like, now I can watch the show?
Yeah, I've done that a few times where a couple years ago a movie called Tomorrowland came out with now I can't even remember the actress's name, but they've got this retro style jetpack in there that they fly around with. And when I saw that movie the first time, I thought, I want to make that. I still haven't gotten around to it. It's on my list of things that I want to make. I'm actually building a Rocketeer jetpack right now, and then I'll probably jump into that one. But I mean, there have been a few times where I'll see something once up on screen, and I just know that it's like, I've got to build that someday. Whether or not I keep it for myself, I really got to build that, because that's something that's really interesting. But I mean, for the most part, being able to look at some prop or piece of a costume or something like that on screen and really connect with the character, that's kind of how I pick my cosplays, is that I have some connection with the character. I'll build props from just about anything as long as somebody's paying me to do it. But if it's something that I'm going to keep, if it's something I'm going to keep for myself, I've got to really have a connection with that.
Okay. So with like commissioned items, do you like if you you said you had some that you just had no interest in, and you didn't really want to like make it. Do you ever with those kind of products? Do you like go and like research it, and then like if say it's like from a TV show or a video game, will you go like buy the game? Or like watch the movie that it originates from?
Not usually. I don't have a lot of time to do that. I mean, the prop business is just a hobby for me. I have a full-time job, so it's like if I'm not already into something, I've had a few people come up and suggest certain animes and things like that. Like, oh, you'll love this, and like anime is one genre that I don't get drawn into it.
Okay.
I love sci-fi, but it's like I can't really get drawn into that enough to really want to continue watching it and see how I connect with things.
Okay, yeah. I just wanted to ask, because I wasn't sure if like you had a piece of me like, wow, like this looks cool, that I want to check it out.
Yeah, I mean, if anyone comes to me and they're requesting something, I'll throw a quote at them and say, this is what I think it's going to take, this is how long it's going to be. Just make sure that it's within their budget and their time frame, and I'll usually do things as long as I have time. But I mean, there have been a few projects that I've taken on that I get most of the way through it, usually about 70 to 80% through, and then I realize that I'm just not loving this. I really got to finish this up and get this done, otherwise I'm never going to finish.
You're going to pigeonhole it.
Yeah.
Well, you've kind of already answered this question a little bit, but besides the jetpack that you mentioned, is there any project that you are just dying that you really want to make?
I mentioned earlier that I have the Sparrow at home.
Right.
Last year, it was basically decided that if I can figure out a way to sell the Sparrow,
sure,
I would really love to build a full-size taxi from the Fifth Element. Something that could be used for photo ops around conventions, things like that. But I have to sell the Sparrow and get that out of the way first, because that's taking up parking space in my driveway. So
I was going to say that would take up a good majority of the space there.
So I mean, that's my next dream build. Eventually, I would really love to build a full-size drivable Chitty Chitty Bang Bang.
That would be amazing.
That's way off in the future.
Well, that's why we have dreams, right?
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for being with us, Zach. We really do appreciate it.
Yeah.
We'll be sure to drop his Instagram and any of his other handles down below in the description. Be sure to follow him, and if you're interested, you've got some good tips now. So thank you again, Zach.
Yeah. I'm always happy to offer more tips too if anyone has questions. So.
Hey, come to Salt Lake FanX. He's sure to be here. So.